is a real different thing for me. I'm totally naked compared to how I usually play, because I usually play cover songs of things like Tom Petty, Fleetwood Mac, and all that kind of thing. And I have tracks that I make that, you know, have keyboard and all that kind of thing in there. So what you're getting is my living room and me in my bathroom, you know? Yeah. So how you doing over there? Good?
Your voice is low.
My voice is low? That's amazing, because I'm usually the one that's the loudest one in the room. We good? All right. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, so I'm going to take you a little bit on a trip of my life. I've got a few albums out, and so everything I'm going to do today is original. And I started playing guitar at about 13 years old, and this first song tells you a little bit about that. It's called The River. I remember when I was just about 13. I wasn't quite yet in her voice. I found my daddy's old guitar in the closet, and on those broken strings I tried to make some noise. Late at night in the dark of my bedroom, when I thought no one could hear, I played that thing until my fingers were bleeding. Transistor radio up to my ear. Well, the river rushes quickly, and the rocks turn into sand. Things we take for granted go slipping through our hands. We turn around and wonder what happened to it all. Things that seemed important then now seem oh so small, don't they? Yes, they do. Today I went outside by the water and said hello to the wind as it wrapped its summer arms around me and kissed me like a long lost friend. Well, we sang a song of love and forgiveness, sang out in perfect harmony, sang to heal the miles, the years, the distance. It's come between you and me. So let's roll like the river, sing like the wind, flow like a river, and let the innocence begin. Flow like a river, sing like the wind, flow like a river, and let the peace begin within. Thank you. And around that time, I was living in Central Florida. I was about 13, 14 years old, junior high school. And back then, way back then, we didn't have record stores in our town. We didn't have much anything. We had to drive an hour away to Tampa in order to do back to school shopping. We were really rural. And the only way I could get hold of new music was through the Sunday paper, where you would open Parade magazine and you could buy 12 albums for a penny, you know. And so I am going to hell because of shipping charges. I'm sure that were probably never paid, but yeah, I would shop according to what was on the covers of the cool albums and the pictures that I saw, and I got turned on to a lot of new music that way. That and an old transistor radio where I could pick up KAAY in Little Rock, Arkansas. But this song is called Columbia House. And it's because that's the name of the people that I probably still owe shipping charges to. That's right. You had big dreams in that little town, nothing much to do when the sun went down. You had a penny and you had a thought. Look at all those dreams you bought. You were picking titles, picking boxes. Little did you know you were picking the locks and picking up that first guitar. Somehow you knew just who you are, and it was oh mama, oh yeah, yeah. I want the joys and the noise and the toys of a rock and roll band. Oh mama, oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna hit the ground running, keep running just as fast as I can. My little boys turn into men. The twists and turns of life began. You thought you took the road well traveled, turned around and the thing unraveled, and you wound up back where you started. You broken down and broken hearted. Big dreams in that little town. A pocket full of pennies when the sun goes down and down. Oh mama, oh hell yeah, yeah. I want the joys and the noise and the toys of the rock and roll band. Oh mama, oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna hit the ground running, keep running just as fast as I can. You had big dreams in that little town, nothing much to do when the sun went down. Big dreams in that little town, and there was nothing. So yeah, life takes its twists and changes and all that kind of stuff. I had a record out back in 1972 and they had a hole in the middle of them that big. And I put my life on hold for many years because my ex-husband, the guy that I wound up marrying, I was in local bands and so was he, and he worked his way up and he was very, very talented. He wound up being in Frank Zappa's band and Warren Zevon's band and all this kind of thing. So I wound up doing sound and lights, and in the meantime I kind of got off the stage and kept doing songwriting and that kind of thing. But I really didn't think I was going to be back up on the stage again, you know, but yeah, life changes. So this is actually my latest release, and you can hear my stuff on Spotify and all that kind of thing. I have an album over there that has the singer-songwriter thing on there. Most of the things are more orchestrated than what, so you're hearing the stripped-down version. But this one is one that is coming out it's called Run with the Angels, and it just came out this month. And it's about the time right during my divorce when I was sitting behind a sound system, running band stuff for his bands, and thinking, what the hell did I do with myself? You know, I put it like on the back burner, and it's called Run with the Angels. Dusty old stories don't mean all that much. I wanna run with the angels. I wanna fly on the wind. I wanna pack it all up in a pickup truck and start all over again. Pieces of what you were going to be. It all comes down to this. There's a very fine line between your nightmares and dreams. Things you believe sometimes aren't what they seem. Let's run with the angels. Let's fly on the wind. Let's pack it all up in a pickup truck and start all over again. I wanna run with the angels. I'm gonna fly on the wind. Pack it all up in a pickup truck and start all over again. And start all over again. And I did. I started all over again. And I wound up in another little town named Jerome. And it has about as many people in it as the one that I grew up in. There's only 450 of us that live up there. And it's one of those little towns where we have so many tourists coming through there that people say, you must know everybody that lives here. It's like, no, we really don't, because there's like 2 or 3 generations that come and go. And I was in the post office one day. You know how small towns are. You hear gossip, you hear things about yourself you never knew, So I'm getting my mail. We've got these old lock boxes. So I'm out there getting my mail out of the lock box and, going through the bills, throwing things in garbage and that kind of thing. And I hear these 2 young kids, 30s, they're in their 30s, and they were talking about somebody. And I'm going, wait a minute, some of this sounds really familiar. And they were gossiping about me, but they didn't know it was me that was standing there. And they were getting a lot of it like really, really, really wrong. but it was a whole lot more juicy than what my life really is. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to take some notes, So I just kind of started writing some stuff down. And I thought, something, that's like the rumors about me in that little town are way better than my little life on the couch with my guitar, So this one's called Rumors, Whispers, and Lies. There we go. I can't read my notes that are right there. I heard this little town that blows hard up and down Main Street in New York, and baby, remember, people like to criticize and judge and hurt and scrutinize, and sometimes it feels like a bug held under the looking glass. It seems so large and burns so fast and darling. They're all fascinated by silly things you did instead come back to haunt you in your head. And honey, it goes round and round and round and round. All I want to talk about it. They've all been talking too much for me. I don't need to talk about it. All you have to do is look and see. You're still there in my heart. You're still there in my eyes. I'll be there in your darkest hour. I'm gonna be there. Dutchman on this ship, the Holy Ghost of hypocrites and darling. Don't let them run your undies up a pole, salute the silks and leave you cold, cause honey, it's not worth it. You can't run and you can't hide. You can start a church if you're crucified and baby. Now let me think about it. How do you like this taste of fame? It's way more bitter than bitter game, and honey, it goes round and round and round and round. I don't wanna talk about it. We all know that talk is cheap. I don't need to talk about it. Just close your eyes and go to sleep. Be there in my heart. Be there in my eyes. I'll be there in your darkest hour. I'm gonna be there through the rumors and the whispers and the lies heard. What they said. Yeah, if you've ever lived in a small town, you understand that. And when I first moved there 35 years ago, yeah, I've been there through a whole lot of changes. That was illegal still back then, you know. And it's like, and I'm a hippie chick from way back, so yes, I partaked. I don't partake anymore, but I partaked then. And we used to all hang out in the spirit room, and after the spirit room closed down, we'd go behind what's now Bobby T's, but it used to be just an old broken down, it used to be the English kitchen. And you'll recognize, if you're familiar with Jerome, you'll recognize the place where people toss their money into the old Bartlett Hotel. But a bunch of us hippies, after the music, you know, we used to hang out there and smoke pot. And there was this guy that wore a gold suit. His name was Slim Chance, and he was in a band. He was in a band with Lori McDonald. It was a great. It was in Commodore License for that. And then there was an older woman. There was another guy called Napoleon Bonaparte. Yeah, he was the one that usually had the bag of pot, you know. And then we had an older woman named Esther, God bless her, and she was in her 80s, and she would hit the dance floor of the spirit room almost every single night. And she was a bohemian before there were hippies. I mean, she lived down in New Orleans and all that kind of thing. So I call this one Esther's song, because Slim started rolling joints, and we realized that none of us had any matches. And so here I am with my pigtails and this ragtag bunch, and we go single file up to Paul and Jerry's saloon and, you know, act like we're just all calm and groovy and everything, and we go, does anybody have any matches? You know, as if they didn't know what we were going to be doing back there. So this is called Behind the Wall, because that old wall holds a whole lot of memories for us, you know. It's also called Esther's song. Behind the wall, around the corner, down some one-way street, where the money is thrown, standing stranded in the moonlight. fond memories, and it's like, yeah, a couple of those people have passed on now, but it is what it is. Life goes on. And so I play both sides of the mountain. I play things really differently. I play, like the Hilton. I play the Hacienda. I play around here too. But there are two. Every town, no matter how big they are, every town has their little clique. Okay, and it's like musical cliques, everywhere. And so over here, you see a lot of similar musicians, and over there, it's like we've got a bunch of musicians over there in Sedona. Well, living on top of the mountain and playing both sides, I get to see it all. And I go. We've got crystals and pistols, and it's like, it's kind of funny. And so, I'm the hippie chick in the middle, and I just kind of watch it all from the top of the mountain and write songs about it. And so when I play this one in Sedona, I call it the Equal Opportunity Offender song for Sedona. And it's about, there's shamans on every street, and it's like, for another $20, I'll tell you your fortune. This whole kind of thing. So this one's called Holy, and you can hear most of these things on Spotify and stuff like that. It's spelled W-H-O-L-L-Y. Yeah, so it's like, you're gonna make you holy, eating like a vegan won't save your soul. You can wakey bake when the cows come home, jam to your pants, still to be a hole. Climb on the mountains and hike the trails, dry kiss and what you're missing, I'll be a boy. Pretty little ladies don't hold the answer, you just repeat patterns and you get annoyed. Well, you think that you found it a time or two, worked your way around it like a wrong size shoe. Thought you had the perfect pair of the drill good, and you did all the things that you thought you should. It's not about looks, that's just lust. Comes down to things like truth and trust. You're the only soul you can control. It's ashes to ashes and dust to dust. When you're lost in the woods, you can't see the light. Path is dark and you think you might wander around forever and never, ever, ever know love, real love. Well, the rush of a crossroad crash and burn, fast and furious will take a fall. In the end, you have to go within and learn to accept the scars and all. Put on the costume and play the part of a holy man with a broken heart. Never start fix it till you know the art of unconditional. No, money won't mend it, sex won't mend it, drinks won't mend it, drugs won't mend it. You can't just talk it, you have to walk it. You can't just know it, you have to show it. There's a lot to learn to turn this world around. And did pull these things up because it sounds really different when it's all orchestrated. You hear drums and everything else going on. So this one is from personal experience, but it's like 2020 hindsight is so clear. It's just so freaking clear, And sometimes it takes you a few years of knowing somebody to really see them really clearly, And so this one is about. I hate the word narcissism, but by golly, it's one that's right up front in front of everybody anymore. And sometimes when you have a person in your life, you think you know them, you really don't, So anyway, this was called Beautiful View, and it's actually going to be the title song of the new album that's coming out, So it's a little metaphoric. All he had to do was shake that body. She spun her web that was so tight and split. Were you really all that naive, honey? You took my friendship to the edge of town and threw the bag into the heart. Spirited tattered like a litter. You were a consummate pro. Lucky's kept tossing out that litter, and you still have one on your back. But it's a beautiful view from under the bus. I'm black and blue. About this carnage, 300 bodies, maybe more. There were no victims, only volunteers lying up and damaged on your floor. The soul can see what the heart conceals and gets a glimpse behind the mask. It's all revealed in paradise with the consequences of the past. And it's a beautiful view from under the bus. I'm black and blue, and you were so oblivious. You were so oblivious. You were so. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal when you get thrown under the bus, but you have to look at the gift that's included with that provision. For sure. One more? Okay, I'll wrap it up with a song of forgiveness. After all that. Yeah. Because boy, we need some on this planet. We need some of this good stuff, you know. So this one's called Songbirds, and it's about watching things explode before your eyes, watching things self-destruct, going through all that kind of thing, and still holding the love. Because, I mean, you know, even though somebody does you wrong and does you real wrong, there was something about them that you loved in the first place, you know, and they just have their own life lessons to learn. It's just what it is, and it's like, and it's great that they gave you the opportunity to learn yours, you know. So this one's called Songbirds, and it's for all of us. I've been watching you spread your wings as you fly into the sun. See the bodies of the shiny things as you drop them one by one. Catch your feathers as they hit the ground in the day and the night without a sound. Hold each one in a special prayer. You're always here even when you're there. Maybe I'm crazy when I am with you. I feel like I am home. I don't need my skin or my teeth or my hair or my blood or my bone. I don't need anything. I don't need a promise or a diamond ring. Just to know that you're here with me is beyond the realm of ecstasy. And maybe I'm crazy. That's what they say. Girl is cray cray. I hear the talk and continue the walk, 'cause I feel that the smoke and the fire and the pain have been part of the deal. And the songbirds sing and the sun will shine, and some rain will fall through it all. We'll all be fine when all is gone, and the love remains. The things we fear the most are like a ghost. They will never reappear